Alright, we're going to read about the G7 summit for the leaders pledge climate action but disappoint activists that we found on BBC News. What we have for the first photo, this is all of the groups of 7 summit was held in the resort of Carpets Bay in Cornwall that was in the southwest England. Here's what this paragraph. The G7 nations have agreed to step up action on climate change and renewed a pledge to raise $100 billion a year to help poor countries cut emissions. After a summit in Britain, G7 leaders also promised to help developing countries move away from coal. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who hosted the 3-day meeting, said on Sunday, here's what the quotation is, "We were clear this weekend that action needs to start with us." However, some environmental groups said the promises lack details. You can click on here for these 3 about how significant are G7's climate pledges, followed by for the world at risk of hitting temperature limits soon. Evenly, the G7 called for access to from hit Ethiopia region. Developed countries agreed in 2009 to contribute $100 billion a year in climate finance to poorer countries by 2020. This might be from last year. But the target was not met, in part because of the COVID pandemic. While the G7 agreed to raise contribution to meet the target, Teresa Anderson from Action A said, the G7's reaffirmation of the previous $100 billion a year target doesn't come close to addressing the urgency and scale of the crisis. Catherine Pattingell, director at Climate Action Network, told Reuters news agency, "We had hoped that the leaders of the world's richest nations would come away from this week having put their money where their mouth is." Climate change has been one of the key themes at the summit in Carpets Bay, Cornwall. The G7, which include the UK, US, Canada, Japan, France, Germany, and Italy, committed to keeping the projected global temperature rise to 1.5 C. In the final statement, they said, "We reaffirm the collective development countries' goal to jointly mobilize $100 billion last year from public and private sources through to 2025. Now, this is what the meeting was hosted by UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, probably sure UL instead of UK, might be kind of misspelled one. Let me give you guys to scroll down. And also you can watch about the hundreds of protests paddled into Carpets Bay to urge action on climate. You're probably sure they eat pie or what the words they can be climbed into, not plastic. You know about the sharks on these balloons? Here's the one for the G7 leaders in Cornwall. Here's Boris Johnson on the UK, Justin Trudeau in Canada, Emmanuel Macron in France, Angela Merkel in Germany, Mario Draghi in Italy, Yoshihide Suga in Japan, also USA for Joe Biden, and finally for the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen. So the EU is not a member of the G7, but it's usually part of G7 summit. And you have to make sure to read a whole paragraph that tells you about the G7 summit. I'm going to put the link into the description box below and the end of this video. If you have any question about the leaders pledge climate actions but disappoint activists, that's why for the G7 summit, write down in the comments below if you want to say something. Make sure to be always watching for sharings. Until next time, later. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to Worldwide Campus News and Entertainment. Then ring the bell to see all notifications about the new videos and the latest video.